I was always the one, like, just giving and giving and giving and people pleasing, and then I never felt fulfilled. I never felt like anybody gave anything back. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start setting boundaries.
It's interesting that you say that, because recently I had a conversation with someone that I will not name, and I'll tell you later. And and they were saying how, like, they kind of go out of their way to help, like, notify somebody about this or about that, and, like, here's a deal and here's this going on or whatever, but they never get that in return. And it's like, am I just nothing to you? Like,
number, taking a name, you coded the door, welcome to the game.
welcome back to another episode of Dear Dilemma. Today's topic is
Yeah. How to stop.
Today's topic is
How to stop people pleasing,
but
still be respectful. That is a hard task to do.
I simply say no.
She actually said,
If you really want to say it with your chest.
I wish that we could actually put our true personalities on here sometimes.
We would get fired.
We would get fired. For sure. So anyways, how to stop people pleasing. I was a big people pleaser back in the day.
You've gotten some backbone.
I have over recent years.
Proud of you.
It took a while though. Like, I would say more growing up, middle school, high school, for sure. Wholeheartedly a people pleaser. And a nerd. Yeah, I'll go with that. That's fine.
Teacher's pet.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yes, coach. I'll run 20 laps if I can start the game.
Oh my gosh. You don't know what? My very first friend in college, she was like, another friend brought me to a house party, and she was like, you brought that from our anatomy class that always raises her hand? That was me. And she hated me. And then we became friends.
It was actually her. She was the nerd. I think people pleasing can be hard. Hard to stop. People pleasing, it was exhausting. And I think you really have to stand on saying no. Like, you don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to drop something at drop a
at the drop of a hat. Like, leave everything at the drop of a hat.
That's what I meant. To help them out. And I mean, I get it. It's different when it's like your best friends, or like you need something right away, I could help, or vice versa, or whatever it is. But if it was like, what happens is when you do that, then people continue because they know you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Same
you kind of
like
just get
church,
like, ran over because everybody always just knows that you're going to fold and you're just going to do it. And then they expect more and more and more from you, and then you're burnt out. I think a lot of it was like, growing up, my expectations, like, from my parents were really high. So then I always felt like I had to kind of, like, people please because of not wanting to let anybody down, like the fear of disappointment, or that they were going to be upset with me, or, you know, that I wasn't going to be good enough, I think. And then as an adult, when I got a little bit older, you know, and probably several years into college, actually maybe not even then, probably more out of college, I was finally like, you know what? I'm not going to continue to bend over all the time for all these people that never do anything back. Like, reciprocate it.
Yeah.
I was always the one, like, just giving and giving and giving and people pleasing, and then I never felt fulfilled. I never felt like anybody gave anything back. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start setting boundaries.
It's interesting that you say that, because recently I had a conversation with someone that I will not name, and I'll tell you later. And and they were saying how, like, they kind of go out of their way to help, like, notify somebody about this or about that, and, like, here's a deal and here's this going on or whatever, but they never get that in return. And it's like, am I just nothing to you? Like, I'm not, you know, I do it because I want to be nice and all of that, but then they may, to who they're trying to help, that person then doesn't reciprocate it back.
Reciprocate.
Thank you. It back. And then they don't find out about deals or specials or whatever it may be. So they're being left in the dark, even though they're the one that is, like, looking, like, that would drive me. That would be like me going to Blue Finery all the time and saying, like, like you wanted a certain something, and I'd be like, oh, they have it, right? And then I need a certain something, and you go, and then you don't
even let me know that you're there or whatever.
Yes, it's weird. That's weird. And that's when you should stop people pleasing to those people.
Mm-hmm. It's a very one-way street, for sure.
Because then you feel like I'm going out of my way and I'm doing this, or like you're asking me, hey, while you're there, can you check if they have this or whatever it may be? But when I'm asking you, like, you're not doing it out of the kind of kindness of your heart. You're just blatantly not even telling me you're going and doing that. And that's where you stop people pleasing. Yeah. It's okay to be kind, or like you called me because you were at Costco and you found those bars I wanted. That's like, I would do the same for you.
Yeah. Like, I knew you were looking for them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they have them. Like, finally, I've been looking for these all over the place. But I don't understand not wanting to do that for somebody you care about. So it does make me question if you are people, do people actually care about you, or are they just using you because they know you're a people pleaser? Yeah. Right?
I think it goes deeper than just how to stop people pleasing and be nice about it. Because I don't know if there's really I guess there is a nice way. I think it goes deeper, like you're saying, like something else. But to stop it nicely, I feel like sometimes you just got to be like, no, I'm done. Like, you don't do anything to be kind to me or help me. I'm not going to do it for you. Or I don't even know how you would, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that you can't be kind. You don't have to be mean, but you kind of have to be direct.
Stern. Yeah, direct. Or stern. I think that you can do it respectfully, because it's like, how do you stop people pleasing but be respectful in the same sense? And I think you have to basically just be like, well, I feel like our relationship's very one-sided, and I'm unable to tolerate that kind of treatment at this time.
Chat GPT, everyone.
I mean, you kind of have to just make it about, like, I'm not going to tolerate you continuing to do this for me. I feel like I'm being used. Like, you can't always put the blame on somebody else. Like, you can be respectful and just be like, I just can't handle this kind of treatment anymore.
You're so nice. I just, like, don't respond to the texts.
Or you can do that.
And then I ignore the phone calls.
But that also might not be respectful.
I'm so sorry, I was sleeping.
You've done that to me a few times.
But like, I answered. I was really napping, and then you called. I was like, she never calls me. Something's up.
And it was just that I found some stuff at Costco for
pleasing me.
I was people pleasing her. But I feel like it's a two-way street, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, I'd help her out. Absolutely, I'd be like, this is what. Yeah, but yeah, I think how you're saying it, that is a good way to go about it, is to kind of directly put them in their place and saying, like, you're done doing this until, I don't know, maybe they offer some of the same respect back. I think that's where, like, I'm going to be honest, that's where I've struggled at my church, is because I've always said, like, if I'm going to be attending a church, I want to be involved. Mm-hmm. But we lack volunteers, and it's no hidden. I think a lot of churches are like that. So once I got involved, I was helping out in kids ministry, and I was like being in charge of the welcoming team. And then when there was other events going on, it was like, oh, well, Brooke will just do it. It's like they assumed, kind of in a way. I'm not saying that they did, but because I would always say yes.
Yeah.
So it burned me out. I didn't want to go back. So finally I was like, I'm done. I can't, this is pushing me away from coming here and being with my time with God. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then they realize that. And I think that happens a lot too, like
even
environments
in work,
like that. Yeah. Too. That's what I'm saying. Like work and, oh, will you pick up overtime?
Yeah.
Oh, well, she'll do this. Oh, I know you have a lot on your plate. Brooke will just, or Hannah will just do this.
Yeah, it like becomes expected. Actually, that's something that I have struggled with a lot with work, was like, I used to pick up weekends all the time. Or if like my boss sent out a text and was like, hey, can you, I'm short this weekend, somebody called in, blah, blah, blah. And it was like a group text. I'd feel like so guilty if I said no.
Like, is that weird of us?
It's just, and I still feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I also don't feel as guilty setting that boundary. Like, no, I actually did already have plans this weekend. Like, I can't drop everything and just go. But it also has changed. I think I'm more able to be stern with my boundaries since having a child, because I just prioritize my family now.
She's right.
And before I had a family, I think I felt more
free to be able to do so.
I think I just felt...
Well, and his schedule was different too. So you're kind of more flexible.
Well, I was like, I mean, like, I don't really have anything going on. Like, I'm just married. I have my...
just married!
I mean, like, you have your spouse, or like, even when I was single, like, I would pick up all the time extra work shifts. But I think it just changed because I'm like, I'm burnout. I don't want to always do that. I don't always want to be the person that says yes all the time.
I was like that at a job once, and then it felt like... because people would call in or whatever, and there was only like 3 of us that were in the front desk, and I'd get frustrated or whatever it may be, and they're like, Brooke, you don't have to pick up, like, you do realize, like, they would talk to me and they're like, you do realize, like, you don't, that's not your responsibility. I'm like, yeah, but if I don't do it, no one else will.
Right.
And then they're going to call me anyway, so I might as well do it. And that just really pushes you back. So you got to put yourself first. You got to put your boundaries first, your respect, because you don't want to look back on life and realize you worked all this time and not had time to do things for yourself. Or you were so worried about people pleasing somebody that you didn't take time to treat yourself or something of that sort.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Stay firm.
Yeah. And I think it's hard because it's like you want to be a team player. So you don't want to be viewed that you're not willing to put in the work or, have that two-way relationship or anything like that. But I think you also have to do a little bit of self-reflection and figure out what your actual boundaries are. Like, what are you willing to say yes to? Yeah. Would you be willing to say yes to one overtime shift every 2 months or something like that? Figure out what those things are and where your lines are and which ones you don't want to cross, because, and with relationships too. You gotta figure out what those boundaries are and then stick with them and not be afraid to say no, or I'm not going to tolerate this.
It's like in the teen movies where like the nerd is always helping the girl. He has a crush on the popular girl, and then finally he's like, I'm not doing this anymore. And he finds himself or whatever. Maybe sometimes you got to be like that. And you're not coming from a hateful place. You're kind of fed up and you're done. But you got to know your respect and your worth, and sometimes people use you.
Yeah. But if you guys have anything to add to that, feel free to comment and share what your suggestions are on how to stop people pleasing and still be respectful.
And stay tuned for next week with a new episode.